With the year drawing to a close and me having seen pretty much every film I want to, barring a few exceptions, I can confidently say that 2019 was the best year for film that I've ever lived through. I saw so many more movies than I ever dreamed of seeing in previous years, and there was just so much to love among everything we got over these past 12 months. So today I figured I'd go over my 10 favorites, not necessarily the best, but still my favorite movies of 2019. First, let's get started with honorable mentions. Knives Out was the best Rian Johnson film out of the two I've seen. The screenplay might have been the best this year, and while I do have some gripes about some of the directions it went in, you can't deny that it kept you on your feet at all times. Joker was a magnificent look into what might have created such a psychopathic villain like Arthur Fleck. It doesn't necessarily hit the rich thematic levels I think it was probably going for, but it's still a wholeheartedly engaging ride that's a great film no matter how you spin it. How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World was far and away my favorite animated film this year. The animation was spectacular, the emotion was spot on, and it's probably one of the highest quality animated films we've gotten in a while. And finally, John Wick Chapter 3. This spent a ton of time in my top 10, and the gap between it and my number 10 is probably the second closest gap this year, but more on that later. Fantastic action movie overall. Now, jumping straight into my list, number 10 is Ad Astra. Brad Pitt's space masterpiece is one of the most original sci-fi films I've seen in a while. It's not necessarily lighting the world on fire, and is admittedly not the most action-packed thriller, but it's just so peaceful and quiet. And that's why it's just such an enjoyable and touching watch as a whole. Coming in number 9 is Dr. Sleep. Now yes, it's understandable that at times the film tries a little too hard to stuff all the story it can into one considerably long runtime, but as a massive fan of Stephen King, I absolutely love this. The fan service was well earned, I thought, and it plays its purpose well as an ambitious yet not too suspecting follow-up to both a beloved and timeless film and a beloved and timeless novel. Number 8 is Jojo Rabbit. One of the most heartwarming films of the year, Taika Waititi managed to pack a ton of really solid emotion as well as some genuinely well done satire into an overall really fun and great film. The acting is solid, the heartbreaking moments land, and there's not much more I can say other than that I absolutely love this. Number 7 is The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Joe Talbot's comedy, drama, whatever you want to call it, was one of the most innocent and pure watches of 2019. Like Ad Astra, it's extremely inconspicuous, but perfectly lands all of its powerful moments, and honestly, Jonathan Majors delivered one of the best acted scenes of the entire year towards the end of this film. Overall, just really fantastic. Now, number 6 is actually Star Wars Episode 9 Rise of Skywalker. Now, yes, I know it's divisive, but as someone who really enjoyed most elements of both The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, everything that's done here really works. The character-driven plotlines really hit hard, and the action blends a ton of different elements from the entire saga. Overall, while it's true that this isn't the absolutely perfect film, I personally loved most everything J.J. Abrams gave us to end off this 40-year Skywalker story. Moving into the top 5, we have It Chapter 2. Like Rise of Skywalker, this is another movie that I can wholeheartedly say is not necessarily in the same class quality-wise as a lot of the films on here, but I really thought that most things that were done here really worked. While it's not as powerful or well executed as the first one was, I love this nonetheless. Plus, it's hard to argue against the fact that the casting is one of the best this entire year. At number 4 is Little Women. Wow, Greta Gerwig took us for a ride with this one. It starts out pretty well, but with every progressive plot line, chronological shift, and emotional moment, this film just got so much better. What puts it ahead of It Chapter 2 is just how insanely coherent and good this film was. The acting is great, I love pretty much all the actors here, and everything is just so well done. I absolutely loved this. Now, for the top 3, we have what is essentially a tie. I'll do my best to split them up, but it's just so hard to find gaps in between these 3. This is pretty much guaranteed to change within probably just a few minutes, so as I go through this, keep in mind that it's not permanent or official in any sense of the word. Anyway, at number 3 is Us. Oh gosh, this is really hard.
That's what she said.
Well, yeah, Us is amazing. Jordan Peele is amazing. All the actors had to do great jobs, and they did. And the screenplay is absolutely brilliant. The plot holes are there, no doubt, but that's just not what you need to pay attention to. And if you are one of those people that do that, yeah, don't be that person. As a whole, this spent the entire year in my top 3, and is just so fantastic. There's not much I can say negative here. At number 2 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino just did such a phenomenal job, and especially watching it a second time, you just get such a fantastic feel in everything he was trying to execute. The filmmaking is just so brilliant and flawless, and this is maybe the best overall film we got the entirety of 2019, and it came out in summer too, which is worth mentioning, I guess. But at number 1 for the time being is Marriage Story. Wow, just wow. The characters, the camera work, the writing, the acting, the screenplay, the emotion, just everything is so breathtaking. This film just wraps you in and keeps you there throughout the entirety of it. It's not always action-packed, but it's just so mesmerizingly real that you kind of forget that it's a movie and just look at it as a story between people. Marriage Story was just so phenomenal, and it could possibly be the first ever Netflix Best Picture winner. Possibly. Anyway, that's it for my list of my top 10 favorite films of 2019. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more awesome film content like this. Always your Nuki Guy number 1. Have a great day, and I will see you next time.